Barcelona versus Borussia Dortmund. Guys, the Champions League is back, and we will be previewing this game. This game, we're going to be talking about the expected lineup, also the score prediction, and so much more regarding team news. But Barcelona, this is a huge game for our season. Of course, we didn't pick up all 3 points against Real Betis, but in the Champions League, we have to go through. This is the first leg. In the second leg, we got to make things easier for ourselves. So, guys, before we get into it, I do want to say, make sure to like this up, subscribe if you are new, road to 800 subs, and also the like target for today will be 15 likes. Also, comment down below, what is your score prediction? Who do you think is going to score in this game? And also, my last announcement is that, guys, I took a little bit of a break for some reasons in my life, but guys, listen, we will be back with videos and live streams almost every single day, probably till the rest of the season. So, you know what I'm saying? Hit that subscribe button if you still haven't. But guys, let's get straight into it because Borussia Dortmund, let's talk about them because they have had a bit of a roller coaster season. You know, they have started off pretty bad. They sacked their manager, and now they have a new manager in place. Borussia Dortmund, it's a team that we just cannot underestimate. That's probably the biggest thing. If I had to send a message to the Barcelona team, that's what I would say. Borussia Dortmund, you know, a lot of Barca fans are not going to try to hear this, but listen, they have made the Champions League final before we have, you know, more recently. You know, last year they were Champions League finalists against Real Madrid, and they actually gave them a very good game. And a lot of the team is still here today. So Borussia Dortmund, we got to respect them. You know, I got the Bundesliga table right here. You could see that Borussia Dortmund are not having the best of seasons, and even their form. Yes, they have won their last 2 games. They beat Freiburg 4-1 just the other day. But the thing is, Dortmund, they've been up and down. So they win 3 games, they might lose the next 2. Borussia Dortmund have legitimately been super inconsistent. And matter of fact, they were below 8th, actually, that you can see right now, just a couple weeks ago. So Borussia Dortmund, this is not the best team possible. If we're being real, Barcelona, we did get kind of lucky in that UCL draw. I'm not saying that it's confirmed. It's not a conclusion that we will be going to the semis. We will have to show up. And guys, Barcelona, we have played a Benfica team that was pretty poor offensively and defensively. And now we are playing a Borussia Dortmund team that, fair enough, they have won their last 2 games. But I'll be real, guys, we have to win this tie. And we are at home first. And if I'm looking at their squad, I do rate a couple of these guys. Niko Kovac, you know, a counter-attacking manager. They are going to sit back and try to hit on the counter with Karim Adeyemi. They got the goalkeeper Kobel, who I do rate. And when I'm looking at their squad, they don't have world-class players, but they got a lot of players that I would take still. They got Nico Schlotterbeck, one of the center backs that I do think is good enough to play for Barcelona. Matter of fact, the other day, guys, he was taking corner kicks for Borussia Dortmund. He is that good at passing the ball, and he's also a super solid defender. And also, when I'm looking at their midfield, Julian Brandt is the guy right there. Julian Brandt, you can see him on the left side of the screen. He is the guy that makes things happen. You know, in the UCL run to the final, Borussia Dortmund, he was probably their best player in terms of consistency and showing up in the big moments. And I'll be real. I think that whoever comes into the game, whether it's Gavi, whether it's Fermin, whether it's a Frankie de Jong even to start, right? I'm saying we need to keep an eye out for Julian Brandt because this guy right here, he can cause some problems. He's probably their best orchestrator. He's the guy that makes things happen for Borussia Dortmund. And then also, when we're talking about their forwards, I would say Karim Adeyemi on the counterattack, that is dangerous. I cannot lie. The speed that he's got. And also Jamie Gittins, he had a very good game against Barcelona, against us in the 3-2 when we beat them. He was honestly doing very, very good against Jules Koundé. But when I'm looking at the guy that we need to mark most, the guy that gets goals for Borussia Dortmund, it's Serhou Guirassy. Guirassy is the guy that we got to be wary of because I think whoever starts Cabarsi, if Inigo's fit to play, and I think he is because Hansi Flick did say it, whether it's Ronald Araujo, Guirassy is the guy that I really think that Barcelona need to watch out for. The guy, I think he scored against us, wasn't it a penalty in the last game? But Barcelona will need to be careful because they do got talent. Borussia Dortmund is not a bad team. And once again, they did make the UCL final just last year in a pathway that nobody expected. Atletico Madrid, us, Barcelona, and PSG was there, and everybody had one of us 3 going through, but it was actually Dortmund that made the final. So we do need to show up. And Barcelona, ultimately, Barcelona against Real Betis, we played all right, but we were not clinical. And in the Champions League, it is more ruthless. You know, one bad game and you could be going home. Our best players, Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, they got to show up in these knockout games, in which they have done in the big UCL games this season against Benfica and also Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund. I think that these guys need to step up. Our wide players, our best players offensively, Lamine, Rafinha especially, because Rafinha, we need to get him going again with the goal scoring. But I really feel like the fatigue is a real factor. You know, I feel like that Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, Pedri, and probably Jules Koundé are probably the four guys that are probably gassed. They played a lot of football. But guys, if I were to show you guys, if I was Hansi Flick and what lineup that I would probably put out there against Dortmund at home once again, a game that we have to win, I would probably put out this lineup. Szczesny is my goalkeeper for sure, number one. I would actually put Ronald Araujo over Cabarsi just because remember what he did to Sorloth. He neutralized Sorloth, a guy that gave us a lot of problems when Araujo came in. And I know he's not super intact with the high line, but I'm looking at Guirassy, and I really feel like the only guy who can match Guirassy is probably Araujo. I don't think Inigo and Cabarsi in moments, they'll just be moments, big moments though, the small margins, that they will not be able to probably handle Guirassy's physicality. Then, of course, Balde, Koundé, I would start these fullbacks, right? Pedri, De Jong, I don't got to say much. Rafinha, Lamine, I already spoke about them, right? These guys, they got to show up. Robert Lewandowski, he's got to show up. And honestly, the only question mark for me is Gavi off a really good performance, or is it Fermin Lopez? And I just edged Fermin. I'm going to give Fermin one more opportunity. If I was Hansi Flick, I would give him one more opportunity because I do think Gavi played good. But I think Fermin against the spaces eventually that will show up against Borussia Dortmund, I think that Fermin could maybe get a goal. And listen, ultimately, guys, we got to show up. The Champions League is ruthless, guys. We should know this. One bad day in Rome, one bad day in Anfield, right? One bad day is all it takes. And Barcelona at home, let's be real, guys, we probably got to win by at least 2 goals, right? Because we will be going into the second leg in Germany, in the Signal Iduna Park. And guys, I feel like that is a very, very important reason. A lot of comebacks in the Champions League happen in the second legs. And I feel like that we are at home. We have to win by as many goal margin as possible. Barcelona cannot put their foot off the gas. You know, we will have to keep on trying to score goals and as much as we can, because second leg in Germany, you know, all the fans in Germany, in Borussia Dortmund are going to be up for it. So guys, for that reason, I think Flick's going to go for it. I think we're going to score. I do think Rafinha is going to get back on the score sheet, probably Robert Lewandowski against his former club. And for that reason, I will probably be saying 3-1. I could say 4-1, but I don't think if it's an 85th minute, I think we'll just hold on to the 2-goal lead. But listen, it's Hansi Flick we're talking about. I'm not so sure. But listen, guys, what is your score prediction? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to like up this video, subscribe if you're new, and as always, Visca Barca.